In 2020 alone, there were over 40,000 suicides in the United States. That's a pretty heavy fact to start a video off with, but in honor of National Mental Health Awareness Month, we're highlighting one of the most important areas of mental health that we see in the emergency department, and that is mental health crisis. I'm Dr. Adam Goodcoff, and today I'm going to be explaining what 988 is and why that number should matter to you. It's no secret that the pandemic did no one favors towards their mental health. Increases in financial stress, anxiety surrounding health conditions, and isolation from support systems were just a few of the many issues contributing to a rise in the mental health crises. Mental health illness is found in 1 out of every 5 adults, and over 20% of children aged 13 to 18. Sadly, almost 40% of students with an untreated mental health illness will drop out of school. The CDC even says that depression alone can cause a 25% increase in the time it takes to complete a job at work, and on average decreases a person's cognitive ability, or their ability for the brain to think critically, by 35%. Don't see the scale of those affected yet? How about this? 1 out of every 8 visits to the emergency department in the United States are for mental health related illness. Now you might think if someone was having a mental health emergency that they would just call 911. Don't get me wrong, you certainly can do that, but first, let me give you a bit of history on 911. While our emergency phone system, also known as the Universal Emergency Number, is well known to Americans, many would be surprised to know that the number has only existed since the late 1960s. From that point forward, the idea of a 911 system evolved to the highly skilled dispatchers who receive calls today and can even instruct someone to do CPR over the phone. These experts coordinate with police, fire, and EMS to respond to some of the worst incidents imaginable. However, what they do far less often is act as a counselor to someone in mental health crisis. When you call 911 to get assistance with mental health, the services are often limited, and the first unit dispatched will often be a police officer. While it is important to highlight the incredible work our police do to protect us, their ability to care for those in mental health crisis is somewhat limited. They are left with 3 choices. Option 1 is to solely check on the welfare of an individual, offering no services or counseling. Option 2 is to voluntarily transport the patient to the emergency department, and option 3 is to involuntarily transport the patient to the emergency department. Essentially, place them under the arrest and make them go to the ER. Do you want to take a guess how many calls to the current suicide hotline require an emergency response or a police officer? 2%. Now, let me be clear, this is not a knock against the incredible work that our dispatchers, police, fire, and EMS currently do. This is just to say that sometimes they're not the best service for these specific patients. In July of 2020, the FCC designated 988 as the new direct line to the previous hotline known as the Suicide or Crisis Hotline, or the Talk Line. Why did they do this? Well, first off, it's about 1,000 times easier to remember, but secondly, and more importantly, 988 connects those in need of help to a highly trained lifeline counselor who can assist the caller or the person that they are with. If needed, these counselors can also contact traditional 911 systems to get police, fire, and EMS on the scene. In some areas, 988 is already available, but on July 16th of this year, 988 will be formally rolled out to every phone service across the United States. What's exciting about 988 is the modernization of the system. Under this new rollout, those in need can also text 988 for assistance. The services also offer specialized care for veterans going through a crisis, such as a PTSD flashback. There will also be specialized services for those in the LGBTQ community. 988 centers offer services in English and Spanish on-site, but also have access to translators to over 250 different languages. While this is a huge win for providing access to emergent mental health care to those in need, it can also be viewed as an improvement to the 911 system. 911 can now focus their efforts on other emergencies, allowing 988 to potentially offload some of the mental health crises that otherwise would have run through the 911 system. By this point, I'm sure you can see the value of the new 988 system that is coming across the country, and I have one favor to ask you. Please like this video and share it with someone you care about to help spread the message. You never know when you or someone you love may need this number. I hope that you found this video useful. If you did, please consider subscribing to have more of your health explained.